An abstract puzzle world like Minecraft meets M.C. Escher unfurls before us in the mysterious Kairo. That's coming up next on JO42 Reviews. At first glance, Kairo seems less like a game and more like an unguided romp through Chip Kid's erotic subconscious. The player is dropped into a first-person world and left to explore through a series of stark, lonely temples accompanied by a Lustmord-style ambient soundtrack. I rather like these type of three-dimensional puzzle games as I feel like it allows the player to walk around in the sort of world that's only implied by two-dimensional puzzle stylings. When I was a kid, I had a book called Virtual Reality Playhouse, which came with a disc loaded with a bunch of cool and now very primitive-looking VR simulators. One was called Superscape and allowed the user to navigate around a simple virtual environment using various avatars. I recall having the most fun exploiting the bugs that would allow the player to walk through walls and cars to teleport into office buildings. Another one was called Let Me Outta Here, and that was a sort of puzzle adventure game with a primitive first-person interface. But the one on the disc that really stood out was Continuum, aka Alpha Waves, a 3D puzzle game from Data East, wherein the player attempted to navigate from one room to the next by bouncing off of propulsive surfaces. This appealed to the autistic, synesthetic part of my brain that was fascinated by the idea of existing in this world of abstract shapes floating around trying to accomplish meaningless tasks that induced a sense of Pavlovian satisfaction. This was the effect that I got with Kairo, but it ultimately left me feeling unsatisfied. The reason for this is that the game constantly feels like it's pushing towards some deeper meaning that is never fully realized. What are these rows of coffins? We never find out. What are these blurry screens with images of destruction on them? We never find out. Why did we need to raise the water levels in this room? We never find out. It's also tractionless that when the end of the game finally arrived, it seemed almost like the credits just began to scroll randomly. There's a secret ending which involves a section of poetry from T.S. Eliot's The Hollow Men, which is cool, but it still doesn't explain very much. I won't give away the alternate ending in case you want to track it down and figure it out, but I got the impression it might have something to do with reincarnation. Maybe. At the end of the day, Kairo is a walking simulator, albeit one with some cool landscapes to explore and some simple puzzles. It's worth noting that the game appears to have been designed with modern VR goggle systems like the Oculus specifically in mind. It's likely that the advent of mainstream virtual reality simulation will give these walking simulators a second wind. After all, these are products whose primary and only selling point is immersion. The video game industry is one where products seem to evolve faster than the hardware that supports them. When CD-ROM technology first appeared on the scene, it was clunky and unresponsive, yet companies couldn't stop shoveling CD-based entertainment down the public craw. The same will likely be the case with VR technology. The sheer novelty of the tech may be enough to get some people interested in these simplistic ideas, much like the early talkies. That is, of course, assuming that my favorite paperweight back there didn't poison the well too awfully bad back in 1996. As it stands, Kairo is enjoyable on a surface level, but lacks the rich complexity necessary to give it real staying power. Think of a movie like Cube or games like Portal and Myst, where the haunting, solitary world has an ominous backstory that's peeled away gradually in layers. Kairo feels like it should have that sort of haunting, hidden story, but ultimately it never does. It's just a great deal of potential that's never fully realized. Thumbs down. Hey everybody, thank you for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. Listen, my channel's going through some really cool evolutions right now, and I want to make you a part of it. Subscribe for future updates, but please also donate to support my channel on patreon.com/JO42. I've set the modest goal of $100 per video, and your contribution will help me continue to bring you really cool content like what you just saw. And of course, there are some links to the side there to help expedite that process. So again, thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you again. Peace.